Let's go for a special presentation today. It's a free translation. It says, by the grace of God, in the days between 10th and 15th of Shevat, New Year for trees, 5747, Brooklyn, New York. To the sons and daughters of our people Israel everywhere, God bless you all. Greeting and blessing. Coming from the 10th of Shevat, the yahrzeit Halula of my father-in-law, the Rebbe of saintly memory, we are still under the vivid impression of the keynote of that day, namely the eternity of the soul, especially the eternity of the soul of a Nasi, head of our Jewish people, whose entire life on this earth was bound up and permeated with the eternal Torah and mitzvahs, especially moreover as the Bel Halula has raised up a generation and successive generations of disciples and followers who walk in his path. All the more so since the primary goal of his service and activity was centered on the dissemination of the Torah, the revealed and the inner essence thereof, and mitzvahs among the widest Jewish circles everywhere, inspiring individuals and communities. With our young and with our old, with our sons and with our daughters, without exception, indeed all of us as one, in a manner of stand up ready all of you, and proclaim to Hashem, Naaseh v'nishma, we shall do and obey all the mitzvahs and all of the Torah forever. Hence, the following suggestion and urgent request addressed to every Jew, man or woman, everywhere, with a brief foreword. Every year, and from year to year, on the day of the Halula, all activities of the Bel Halula should be and are stimulated, not only to continue, but just as importantly to be renewed with even greater vigor and strength as behooves all matters of goodness and holiness, in keeping with the imperative of Ma'alin Ba'Kodesh, to be constantly upgraded, particularly in general and essential areas. Such renewal and innovation pertain also to activities that were carried on before, but till now the particular activity did not have the dimension of something basic, or it lacked the emphasis it now has in its renewed form. Hence the renewal evokes in people generally, and in Jews especially, new strength which is translated into action, the deed being the essential thing. Thus, the renewed, even though not new, activities are like new. And finally, the renewal should be such that it makes them really new. It is in the nature of a human being, as created by Hashem, that anything encountered on a daily basis, or even not so frequently, but the thing comes with or among other things, it is not the centerpiece. It will not command special attention, however important the thing is in itself. It is different when a thing stands out as something of primary importance and, in addition, is presented with appropriate emphasis. Then one's attitude and response are altogether on a different level. One subject that has been spoken of in the past, but not with the fullest emphasis it merits as a matter of such basic importance in the day-to-day life, is the following: to make and upgrade every Jewish home as a mikdash me'at, a small sanctuary, to reflect fully the inner purpose of Hashem's command and promise. Let them make me a mikdash, that I may dwell in the midst of them. Our sages explain that the text does not say batacha, in the midst of it, singular, referring to the mikdash, but batacham, in the midst of them, plural, meaning in the midst of the makers of the mikdash, i.e., in the heart and soul of every Jew, man and woman, and within every Jewish home. Plainly stated, this is to urge all Jews most earnestly to make Hashem's request to dwell in their midst the primary concern in their everyday life, with total dedication in thought, speech, and deed to its realization in the fullest measure. More precisely and specifically, the Mikdash Me'at in the heart and in the home of every Jew should in all respects reflect, as it were, Kavayachol, the Beis HaMikdash, which comprise within itself the source and reality of the three pillars on which the entire world is based: Torah, Avoda, which is prayer, and Gemilas Chasidim, good deeds. Torah is emphatically represented in the first of the specific details of Make Me a Mikdash, namely the ark in which the tablets of testimony with the Ten Commandments were to be kept in the Holy of Holies. It was further underscored when immediately after the written Torah was completed, the Sefer Torah was placed beside the ark in the Holy of Holies. Avodah. In the function of the Beis HaMikdash, as my house shall be called a house of prayer, and the gate of heaven, since all prayers are directed toward the Holy of Holies and ascend to heaven through it. As the Rambam explains it, the Beis HaMikdash was a bayis, a house, consecrated as the place where the korbanos were offered to Hashem, and the inner content of the korban was to enable a Jew to come closest to Hashem through this vicarious experience of total surrender and self-sacrifice to Hashem, the equivalent of which in prayer is the surrender of one's will to Hashem with all one's heart and soul. Gemilas Chasidim is symbolically represented in the second specified item of the sacred furnishings of the sanctuary. Immediately following the ark with its details, namely the table of the showbread, since the Beis HaMikdash was the place from which Hashem dispensed all his acts of kindness from his full, open, holy, and ample hand for the entire world and for Jews in particular. In all the above, there is the divine imperative: you shall walk in his ways to imitate Hashem. Hence, the Mikdash Me'at of every Jewish home should incorporate within its precincts the said three pillars of the Beis HaMikdash: Torah, to make one's home a house where Torah is cultivated, studied regularly and increasingly, both quantitatively and qualitatively. This includes making it a house full of sefarim, holy books that are not for decorative purposes on bookshelves and bookcases, but filling the whole house with their content and spirit. Tefillah, a house where prayer is cultivated. Beginning the day with the prayer Mode'ani, I thank you, and concluding the day with the prayer Hashkivenu, cause us, O our Father, to lie down in peace, recited in the Shema before going to sleep. While the three daily prayers are recited with the congregation in shul, the Mode'ani comes first, immediately upon waking from sleep. So is the last prayer of the day also recited at home before retiring for the night. And in between, there are many prayers and blessings at home, such as before eating and after meals, etc. Gemilas Chasadim. In addition to tzedakah boxes, it is a house characterized by hospitality, including acts of kindness involving one's soul, body, and money in behalf of individuals as well as the community at large, supporting Torah causes, houses of prayer, and institutions of tzedakah and chesed. Such a home, Mikdash Me'at, is comparable, so to say, to the Mikdash God's hands have established. This week's Sidra, which is connected with the verse immediately following, Hashem shall reign forever and ever. It is a home where awareness of God's reign is ever present. And Mode'ani Lefanecha is the ground principle that pervades the entire day's conduct of the house and household to all eternity. Certainly, the said three elements, Torah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah, are present in Jewish homes, but these could be on an incomparably higher level, made essential and basic cornerstones of all activities of the household. Inasmuch as Hashem demands of humans no more than it is humanly possible to achieve, it clearly follows that what he demands of a Jew, man and woman, is well within their capacity to carry out. Hashem does not expect, however, that everyone should utilize one's capacity in the fullest measure, especially in light of the well-known rabbinic saying that Hashem has not created anything in vain. Hence, he expects that the capacities which he bestowed should be fully utilized. It actually says Hashem does expect, however, that everyone should utilize one's capacity in the fullest measure. These include also the capacities which a Jew receives from Hashem to carry out his imperative to upgrade all things of holiness, i.e., never to be satisfied with the present state, however satisfactory it be, but to proceed from strength to strength, rising even higher and higher from time to time and from day to day in all aspects of goodness and holiness. Herein also lies the connection with the new year for trees, with its message in light of the Torah, stating that a human being is like a tree in the field. The proof of a living tree is in its continuous growth, and the purpose of a tree is to produce good fruit, and the fruit of the highest possible quality and quantity. This is what Hashem demands of an individual, that he should strive to grow steadily in all areas of good, which come under the heading of and are connected with the three pillars, Torah, prayer, and good deeds, mitzvahs. And inasmuch as all these matters are connected with Hashem, the Ein Sof, infinite, blessed be He, they too are infinite, so that there is always room to do more and better. Here, again, as mentioned above, Hashem provides all the necessary capacities to add and improve, and moreover to act and achieve all these objectives with joy and gladness of heart. May Hashem grant that everyone, man and woman, should have Hatzlaka and all of the above, and all above, thereby helping bring even closer the rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash, which is alluded to in the verse, the Mikdash which your hands, God, have established, with the coming of Mashiach Sekenu, when also the immediately following prophecy, God shall reign forever and ever, will be fulfilled. Fulfilled together with the prophecies, you, O God, have favored your land. Our land will produce its fruit, and its inhabitants to dwell with honor in our land. With the fulfillment of show us, O God, your chesed, and give us your Yeshua, and a manner of show us. Make us see as all flesh shall see, perceive clearly by the physical eye, with esteem and blessing for Hatzlaka, and all above, signed, Menachem Schneerson. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei parei hagafen. The Hayam Yam for the 15th of Shevat. It's talking about, by the time the task of printing the second part of the Torah Or was undertaken, the Chassidim had already found out that the Tzemach Tzedek had written glosses and explanations to the Maimarim. They pleaded with him to print them together with the Maimarim, but he refused. The Tzemach Tzedek then dreamt that his grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, came to visit him and asked him to publish them. However, he concealed the matter until 3 of his sons had the same dream and related it to their father. Only then did he agree to append his glosses and commentary to the second part of Torah Or, which was entitled Lekutei Torah. Peering over the horizon, the Tzemach Tzedek replied, Lekutei Torah was first published in 5608, which is 1848, a year that the Tzemach Tzedek had designed as a ketz. At the end of the year, his 14-year-old son, the Rebbe Maharash, complained that though the year 5608 had come and gone, Mashiach had not arrived. The Tzemach Tzedek replied, but Lakutei Torah appeared this year. This answer implied that such a momentous dissemination of the well springs of Chassidus afforded not only a foretaste of the coming of Mashiach, but also was surely a significant catalyst towards that future era. The Rebbe Maharash was not satisfied, but we need Mashiach in the here and now in this world. For those of you who aren't able to put in all those details, the Tzemach Tzedek is the third Chabad Rebbe, and the Alter Rebbe, the Bel Hatanya, the first Chabad Rebbe, is his grandfather, if I have it correct. I'm still waiting for the book to come to clarify some of these details. The Rebbe Maharash is the fourth Chabad Rebbe, and this book that was published made a very big light in the world. And this ketz, it's saying this word ketz, it's literally an end. And it says at certain points in history, a confluence of spiritual forces heightens the potential for the arrival of Mashiach. Accordingly, from time to time, over the centuries, sages who were sensitive to these cosmic forces identified a particular forthcoming year as a ketz. So they're waiting, and like it didn't come. So the explanation the boy tells his son is that, but this book came out. And as we see later, this fervor that we find in the Kendalak and the children, he doesn't want this book in the future. He doesn't want to light an ore that's in the future. We want Mashiach now. And then later we have the Rebbe Rashav who comes along and is thirsting for knowledge and wants Avraham Avinu to reveal himself. And then we have a blessed light of the Frierdiker Rebbe here on Yud Shevat. And as we continue along, the light increases and greater heights and in greater levels. And even when we thought that it was time for a cessation, for a short break, then we have TubShevat, and we continue to grow, and together and individually and corporately. And let us take all the words to heart here from the Rebbeim. Let us continue in good things. Let us receive the holy blessings that have been brought down through these words. May God continue to protect us and give us strength. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, Lord, my strength and my Redeemer.